Hello, everybody. Welcome to the drive-thru. I'm your host, Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Plays YouTube channel throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here in the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And still live for the sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Plays. Let's take a peek at who's on the show here with us today. All right, what today is Mitch. It's Wednesday with Mitch. We got Chris Ruffalo, Al Ninos, Rod Zawacki. Dana Lane will sign in bottom of the hour. Big Al McMorty and Sean Murphy. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. Ruffalo, Ninos, McMorty, Murphy, Zawacki, Lane, Mitch, and then I will close this one out. All right, lots of afternoon baseball. Hope you guys are winning. Got one game in progress here. 6-0 Seattle. And of course, we got the Braves and Giants in action as well. But we still have enough games here in primetime. We get a lot of picks for you today on the show. So let's get this one underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffalo. If I'm over at Pick Dogs, I'm also part of that morning team every day at 10 Eastern Time with Mitch. Chris, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just taking in a lot of the afternoon baseball. How are you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 7:45 each time. We got double coverage here. Chris has a prop in this one here as the Cardinals here host the Brewers. Brewers here, road favorites here, minus 125, total of 7.
Yeah, and show of hands of anybody who would have had 5 runs in the first inning in last night's game between Matt Bush and Jordan Montgomery. Bush obviously in a bullpen game, and you look at the history between these two teams. At least with Adam Wainwright on the hill as he's slated to pitch today. 3-1 to the Yerfie against the Milwaukee Brewers this season, but I'm still going back to the Nerfy here, mainly because, Corbin Burns has just been an absolute shutdown against the Milwaukee Brewers this season. 3 starts, each going 7 innings, has allowed just 1 run combined in those 3 starts. 24-3 to the Nerfy this season, 10-2 to the Nerfy on the road, and his first time through the order, 230 at-bats. He's only given up 40 hits, a 174 batting average. So I don't expect St. Louis to have many base runners on the bases early on. And on the flip side, for Adam Wainwright, like I said, he's had the Nerfy come up a fair bit against the Brewers this season. But 2 of the top 3 hitters in the lineup tonight for the Brewers, Willy Adames and Rowdy Telleza combined 5 for 30 against Wainwright. I think this is just going to be one of those games where the runs are going to eventually come, but I don't think they're going to come in the first inning. I'm going to go with the Nerfy in this one.
All right, Chris going here. No runs first inning here. Brewers and Cardinals minus 165. Yeah, hard to argue with this one, especially really where the Cardinals' issue has been toward at the back end where the bullpen's been in a struggle. But you're not going to see the bullpen here in the first inning here with Wainwright on the mound. And of course, as we mentioned, Burns has just been dominant here against the Cardinals. This season, 3 starts, just 1 earned run allowed in 21 innings against St. Louis.
And not only that, I mean, Burns a much better pitcher this season on the road when you look at the home road splits. And, Adam Wainwright has thrived at home this season. And like I said, yesterday was more of a bit of a volatile situation. I would have thought Jordan Montgomery would have had a better start considering he had been rolling for the Cardinals since being acquired. And the Brewers, well, we knew what we were going to get from a bullpen game. But I think this is a much more stable spot for the Nerfy. Like I said, with Corbin Burns and just how dominant he's been against St. Louis, and Adam Wainwright. Still, a veteran presence. It's age 40 season, but he's still pitching like he's in his late 20s. And I think we get a solid first inning between these two tonight. Get in, get out with a quick payday.
There we go. Brewers and Cardinals, no runs first inning. How about no hits first inning? I don't know if they have that yet, right? No. What would you call it?
I'm sure you can find that.
Niffy?
I think I found it on a couple of books. Dude, if you got the options, by all looks, that could definitely be a possibility there as well.
All right, we got no runs first inning, minus 165, Brewers and Cardinals. This one will have a start time here of 7:45 Eastern Time. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs game tonight. Lots of Major League Baseball here on the card here for this evening. Of course, we got the football. We're heading into the football weekend starting tomorrow. It's showing great results here. Look at this, 959 units of profit here over the past 30 days, all documents. You can verify those numbers by going over to Pick Dogs Premium. You'll be able to check out Chris's handicapper page there, and you go down to Pick History. You'll see every play there is fully documented. All right, Chris, we do have a number of games here in the primetime hour here for a Wednesday. And all games are during the day because we had a 15-game card. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, tonight, Tony, I still got my $15 pickoff play. That pickoff play has been on absolute fire lately. 15-3 in the last 18 pickoff plays that we've had for the MLB. I think we've hit 5 straight as well, so definitely something you want to hop on there if you're just looking for daily app, or hop on something long term. This is the time to do it because a 3-day will get you the Thursday baseball action and college football Saturday. The 7-day Going to get you into week 2 NFL, as well as lots of baseball and college football. The month, it's going to get you into the meat of the college football season. The year, like we always talk about it, full seasons of all the major sports. For me, it's basically around $100 a month. And use that promo code WIN15, get you 15% off. Also applies to the 2-for-1 capper deal. Tons of great options for you at Pick Dogs. You just got to go check them out.
That's right, guys. Got a board with Chris Ruffalo over at Pick Dogs. Been great results. 959 units of profit last 30 days. Verify that over at Chris's handicapper page down over there at Pick History. I think it was yesterday where Mitch showed everyone how to do that. How do I find Chris's? How can I find Chris's results? We'll go watch the replay of the show a couple of days ago if you still have trouble. But just go down to Chris's handicapper page and go down to Pick History. You can do that. Pretty simple to do. So get on board here with Chris. Does have his $15 MLB pickup play if you'd like to get introduced to Chris's service. That one's up there right now. And these guys, they try as heck to win this game. And Chris has done a good job with this one. He's now 15-3 in his past 18 pick-off plays here with this $15 play. So call and get on board right now. You want to make that definitely something you want to put into your shopping cart. Credit guarantee, which means it must win, or the amount that you purchase is credited back into your account. That's what credit guarantee means there. So site credit. So get on board there. Also, as Chris was mentioning, the long-term passes, 7-day, or even a 1 month. The way Chris is running, get that 1 month all sports pass. We got action here, 1 month of baseball. Now we're 3 weeks away. 3 weeks from today is the last day of the MLB regular season. Then we get into the wild card round. Yeah, they kind of packed the wild card round to be the weekend, so that's why we get a Wednesday finish in Major League Baseball. You need that Thursday off day in case there's some ties or whatever you need to break. And then we get that Friday, Saturday, Sunday of wild card baseball. So that's covered with the 30-day pass, as well as the early games of the first round of the MLB playoffs. So about a round and a half of baseball coverage in 30 days. Also, all of Chris's plays here from NFL and college football. And don't forget, that's right, the ice is coming back here. We're just about a little more than 3 weeks away. They're going to hit training camp. I think I saw Chris in a hoodie the other day, so maybe the temperature's in. We're getting close to hockey weather, guys. So time to get on board here with that 1 month all sports pass. Get the first few days of the NHL as well on that 1 month pass. You could use the promo code WIN15 at checkout, and you'll be able to save 15% off at a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Chris, as always, great having you on the show. Keep up the great work in the mornings, and we'll talk with you again next week.
I appreciate it, Tony. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
You got it. Chris Ruffalo here on The Drive. Let's continue on here with the coverage. 9 baseball games in the primetime hour still set to go. So let's go. Let's head on over to Skype. We got a good one tonight here with the Blue Jays and Rays. And we got Al Ninos on this one. So let's bring in Al Ninos. If I'm over at Pick Dogs Premium, I think we're ready to bring in Al right now. Al, what's happening?
Going pretty good here. How are you, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Really competitive lines here as the Blue Jays here host the Rays here at 7 Eastern time. Blue Jays here minus 115, total 7.5.
Yeah, a lot more competitive lines than we saw yesterday, but slightly better pitching matchup here. When we look at the starting pitchers, Ross Stripling getting the start for the Blue Jays, and Drew Rasmussen for the Rays. Both guys having great seasons, of course. If you had to pick one of the two, I'd probably say Rasmussen's the better starter. But we can't deny the season that Stripling's had either. He's having probably the best season of his career. Actually, yes, it is the best season of his career on paper. And the way he's looked too has been pretty impressive compared to what we've seen in the past. I think he comes out and has a strong enough outing. Now, again, I said I would give the edge here to the Rays on the mound, but I still think Toronto has the better lineup here overall. Again, the Rays not a bad lineup either, but they haven't exactly traveled well this season. Let me pull up the numbers for you. I had them up here a second ago. Sorry.
Yeah, they are a losing team on the road, no doubt.
They are, yeah, very impressive record overall, but they're just 32-38 on the road. The Blue Jays 40-30 at home. Of course, they've had that big edge where American players have not, the unvaccinated players have not been able to travel to Toronto. But again, just one reliever here for the Rays won't be showing up. So their lineup is there. It's just a matter of can they put it all together. And then I think that the way Stripling's been pitching, I think he does well enough to at least limit the damage here and get enough run support to get us another win here for the Blue Jays.
All right, so El Nino's here will be on the Blue Jays, the home team, -115 against the Rays. And, and the one thing that strikes my mind here is I watched Game 1, and I saw Springs just dominate that Toronto lineup. And that's the one concern here looking at the home team is that you get a guy like Russ. I would say, I like the way Mitch calls him Rasmussen. That sounds like
I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
It is Rasmussen, but I like the way I like when Mitch calls him Rasmussen. It sounds pretty funny. Rasmussen has put together impressive numbers here. You look at him right now, he's allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 6 of his past 7 starts. And in 3 starts against the Rays against the Blue Jays, and 3 starts against the Blue Jays this season, Rasmussen is allowed just a one earned run or fewer. So he's actually had their number. And the way Springs shut down the Blue Jays last night, I'm a little worried that Rasmussen might be the same in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting a high-scoring game here. I think both starters do pretty well, so I would not be taking actually, I'm not playing the total at all on this one because I think it could end up going either way. But again, I do actually lean towards a lower-scoring game. But again, I think if they don't get it done early, I think that they'll pull away late and get the job done at home here.
All right, El Nino's here on the Blue Jays, -115 against the Rays. This one to start here at the top of the hour. No, it doesn't. Let's see if I get it right. You got it top of the hour. That's right. All right, El Nino's, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium, where you show them really good results over the last 7 days. 361 units of profit. Still 9 games on this card, on this 15-game card here for Major League Baseball. Coming into a football weekend, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, as you already mentioned, I had my Thursday night football play up there. I have had a couple plays already go off. Unfortunate result early, but we came in here yesterday on the show with a bad start, but end up the night pretty well. So that only makes me like my later plays even that much more. So if you want to hop on, I still have a 3-pack going off. I still have a couple of best bets out there separately as well. So again, your best way to go is probably the long-term pass. You'll get all the plays that way, and already get your Thursday night football play up there as well. So check one of those out, or the 2-for-1 capper specials.
That's right, guys. Got El Nino's over at Pick Dogs Premium, showing a really good profit over the last 7 days, coming off a monster day yesterday. So get on board with El Nino's right now. Does have a 3-pack up there for Major League Baseball. Put together his best bets in baseball right now. Credit guarantee, which means must turn a profit or the amount that you purchase is credited back into your account for site credits. That's what credit guarantee means. Up there with 3 plays from baseball, ready to roll here with this Thursday night thriller. Nice matchup here, Chiefs and Chargers. El Nino's is in play with this one right now on the board, so get on board. Credit guarantee as well when you buy it individually. But again, we talked about the long-term passes with El. You can go and get on board with a 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass from El Nino's. You get all of his premium plays for that time period you select. When you go to his handicapper page and make that purchase, 3 days, get your action tonight. Or tomorrow is a football night. We also have the 2 Friday night college football for your Friday on that 3-day pass, as well as all the baseball on the card. So good time to get on board with 1 long-term passes. I think that 7-day pass is pretty good now, because then you cover the NFL for Sunday and Monday. And don't forget all that baseball here, as we're down to the last 3 weeks of the regular season in Major League Baseball. So good time to get on board here with El Nino's, as he's been on fire here. You see the numbers the last 7 days, and of course 7-day pass. Use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with the 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, El, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great evening. Keep up the great work. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony, and have a good one.
You got El Nino's here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here with our coverage. Now it's time to welcome in Big Al McMorty. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium, doing great work here for 2022. Over 3,000 units of profit documented over at Pick Dogs. Performed great again. Was the top unit producer last year on the site. Let's bring in Al right now. Big Al, how you doing?
Had to take the mute button off. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. In this series, some we'll call pretty surprising results. The first 2 nights, we got the Mets here hosting the Cubs. Mets -200, total 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves are right there with the Mets right now, so the Mets better get on their horse if they're going to win that division. I love the Mets tonight. It didn't make my Pick Dogs Premium card, but it was, my favorite of the plays that didn't. So this is a matchup. It's Drew Smyly against David Peterson, and obviously everyone knows how well the Mets have done this season off a loss. They're 39-16 off a loss this year, plus 18.2 net gains. They're off back-to-back losses to the Cubs coming into this game. They're also 7-0 with David Peterson on the hill when they're off a loss. So that bodes well for them tonight. They're 12-3 off back-to-back losses. They did not score very many runs in each of the 2 previous games. They got 1 last night. They got 2 the night before. And the Mets are 19-4 this season after scoring 3 runs or less in back-to-back games. Peterson has done very well in his career versus the Cubbies, a 1.88 ERA over 3 starts. So I just think this is a great situation. The price obviously is pretty high, but I like the Mets here at home.
All right, Big Al here's going to go ahead and take the Mets minus 200 here against the Cubs. Of course, Smiley, the lefty, here on the mound. Just an ERA near 3.5 here. What do you think about Smiley up here tonight for the Cubs?
Well, I mean, I think Smiley is having one of his better campaigns. One of his relatives is actually a client of mine, so I talked to him a lot about that. But in his career, he's really, his teams. He's been been around the block, but his teams have not done well when they've been installed as a big favorite, when installed as a underdog. When installed as an underdog. When they're installed as an underdog of plus 175 to plus 250 in his career, his teams have gone 1-10, including 0-6 this season. So he has pitched much better this year than in seasons past, but he's still no bargain when installed as a big underdog, and I don't want any part of him tonight.
There we go. We got the goods right there. Here we go. All right, Mets minus 200 against the Cubs. This one to have a start time of 7 Eastern time. All right, Big Al, let's go over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. 9 games remaining here on the Major League Baseball board. Look at this, 3,100 units of profit for 2022 document. Big Al was the top unit producer over at Pick Dogs for 2021, having off to a great start here. Well, actually, a great 3 quarters of the year. This year is flying by.
Well, now now it really begins with the football and basketball seasons kind of condensed into the fourth, into the September
fourth quarter,
through December. So, yeah. Last third, I guess.
Last third. That is our last third. That's right. We're almost hitting into October when the NBA hits those early season NBA, but should be interesting to see how your Spurs do this year. But we'll see.
I hope we do terribly.
There you go. There you go.
That's what I want.
Will this be it for you think for Pop?
I don't think so. His wife passed away a few years ago, and I think before she passed away, he was probably going to retire. I mean, he never really told anyone, but I know that I had talked to some insiders who says that they were actually looking, at who to hire to replace him. But it seems like that's gone on the back burner ever since his wife retired. My speculation is that, this is his family, so if, without his wife, he's got no real good reason to step away from the Spurs family. I mean, that's kind of, a replacement for his wife. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Unless he goes back upstairs.
No, he's not doing that.
That's
not I would think he's going to be. You might see him for a couple of years now. Especially if they can bring in some good young talent. But who knows? Who knows who will be replacing him if he steps down. If Becky Hammond will come back to the league, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that here. Of course, Big Al doing great work here. You see the numbers here, 3,100 units of profit. We've got 9 games here in the prime time. Big Al, what do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I only had 1 game today. It already went. It was on the Seattle Mariners, my interleague game of the month. So thanks a lot to all who joined. I'll have some football posted overnight, and I've already looked at the NFL. I'm going to have a huge NFL slate of games this week, at least 7 to 9 plays. So people can join right now and get a week, a month, a year, and also team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Big Al McWordy over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see numbers, 3,100 units of profit for 2022. We'll head right into football here. Get on board with the long-term pass. Of course, you want to try Big Al out for 7 days. You try him out. You'll have your NFL coverage here for Thursday, Sunday, and Monday here when you get that 7-day all-sports pass. We'll also include the college football for Friday and Saturday, not to mention the baseball here for the 7 days. So go on, get on board with Big Al. Also, you can get, Big Al does have the college football and NFL combined pass, but I think the better value here is getting that 1-year all sports pass from Big Al. Of course, Big Al, you've been documented for 3 decades now, and your NFL college football results are second to none. Yeah,
I actually got an email from Jack Stewart, who was the first person who documented me back with Sports Watch way back in the early 90s. He's now in Florida now. He's 82 years old. He hasn't been a monitor for a while, but he sent me a nice email last week He's down in Sarasota. So yeah, I've been monitored by all the monitors over the last 30 years, and I've had very good success. So I'll put all of Pick Dog's customers. We all do our best, and we all will put them in the best position to win.
What time did you start, big guy? When you're like 11 or 12?
When I started the business, or when I started?
Yeah, you don't look like you've been in the industry that long.
No, I mean I started handicapping when I was 12, and I got into the business when I was 25.
There you go. Big Al McMorty, he's been documented over 30 years, the top NFL college football handicapper on this planet. Get on board right now. You've seen the numbers. He's been documented for over 30 years. Fantastic results, NFL, college football, all the sports that he's been documented in. So get on board right now. Use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. That will knock 15% off a long-term pass. I suggest a one-year pass. Get all the sports. That's the way to roll with Big Al. He's been producing winners here. You've seen the numbers when he's been at Pick Dogs the last 2 years going strong. All right, Big Al, as always, great having your show. Continue that success. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Tommy. I'll talk to you on Thursday.
You got it. Big Al McMorty here on The Drive Thru. Let's continue on. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we will do a complete recap here at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Next up is Sean Murphy. If I'm over at Pick Dogs Premium, we'll bring in Sean right now. Let's see if we can get him in here. Here he is right now. Sean Murphy, what's happening?
Hey, Tony. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 7:40 Eastern time. We have the Twins here to host the Royals. The Twins minus 200, total 7.5.
Yeah, so interesting matchup here. Last night we saw the Twins in the opener of the series. They almost completed a no-hitter. Couldn't quite finish it off with the Royals scoring 3 runs in the 9th inning in that game. I like the Royals here to bounce back off that loss last night. I can understand why we're looking at the Twins as a big favorite here. We've got Zach Greinke going up against Sonny Gray this is actually the 3rd time they've matched up this season, and both of the previous meetings went the Twins' way, 7-3, 9-0. We haven't seen them meet though since the middle of August, and since then we've really seen Minnesota pretty much play itself out of the wild card race here by losing 9 of their last 12 games. And I think if you were to line up these two teams' recent results here side by side, and you didn't know which team was which, you'd actually probably think the Royals might actually be the better team. They come in 6-8 their last 14 games. Twins are 5-9 over that stretch. I mentioned they've lost 9 of their last 12 overall, and it's really the same with the pitching matchup here. Zach Greinke, he's nearing the end of his career here. It's another kind of rough season for him. But you look over his last 4 starts, he's given up only 4 earned runs in 22 1/3 innings. And then we look at Sonny Gray over his last 4 starts. He's given up 7 earned runs, I believe, in 21 innings. So it's kind of it's a fairly even matchup here, even though we're looking at this really lopsided price. Actually, we look at the bullpens in this matchup, and the Royals check in here at their last 7 games with a 2.62 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. You compare that to the Twins over the same stretch. They're looking at ERA almost 4.5 and a 1.64 WHIP. So there's a lot to like here with the Royals here as a pretty big underdog in this matchup. I'm not debating the fact that the Twins are the better team, but I think in this spot, with Minnesota, I realize they're desperate, but they're 8.5 games out of the last wild card spot. They've got to leapfrog a few teams here. It's just not going to happen for them. I think we see the Royals rebound here tonight, and maybe Zach Greinke gets a little revenge on the Twins.
All right, we got Sean here on the Royals plus 175 against the Twins. Now, I looked at this game. I did not see what really got my attention in this one is just the numbers for Greinke on the road. ERA near 6.5, 2.17 home runs per 9 innings. Now, I do know pitchers will improve. How much? You went over the last 4 games. How many of those were on the road, and who did he pitch against on the road? Because I didn't look at that.
Yeah, so those last 4 starts he's made, actually one of those starts came right here in Minnesota back on August the 16th. In that start, he went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, a home run as well. But he's been keeping the ball in the park all right here recently. You go back over his last 9 starts, given up 4 home runs. So he's settled down a little bit. I agree with you. He's at the end of his career. I mean, it's the numbers aren't pretty when you look at those overall numbers, but I think that he's capable of kind of giving them 4 to 5 solid innings here tonight. The Twins. It's not as if the Twins' offense has really been taking off here. We look lately at the Twins; they've topped out at six over their last, what are we looking at, 12 games here. They've topped out at 6 runs in those 12 games, and they've only accomplished that twice. I feel like it's virtually a wash when you look at the recent results here offensively. So, recent form is something that I'll factor in a little more when we get to this stage of the season here. Especially when you get these teams like the Twins that are kind of, technically still in the race, but they're not gonna gain that sort of ground here in the next 3 weeks and leapfrog that many teams. So those are the kind of teams that I'm going to look to fade. I think they're a little bit overvalued here, and you add in the fact that last night they almost had the no-hitter. I think the Royals' bats came to life there in the 9th inning last night. And we'll take a shot here that they keep it going tonight.
Yeah, and of course, I wanted to look at Greinke's contract because I know he's been good in contract years. I remember that year he had with the Dodgers, but again, this might be the time where he's trying to make a case for a contract next season. He was only signed for 1 year, so a $13 million contract for 1 year from the Royals here. But again, here's a pitcher who's probably trying to, as you said, he's had some pretty good results. Maybe he's trying to make a case to return to the league next season. You know what happens in these he may be one of the last guys to sign based on his age, his declining numbers. But again, I think this is it right here. I think whether or not he plays next year will determine here his last few starts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said, he's not by no means he's not a pitcher that I'm looking to get behind too often. But I think at this kind of price range, and when we're talking, I don't mind backing a veteran starter when he's looking to maybe make some adjustments here after after going winless in his last 3 starts against the Twins this year. You do go back to he did have one. Yeah, 2 of his 3 starts he's allowed an earned run or less, so it's not all bad for him. He had one really bad start there at the end of May, but again, Twins not the same team right now. They've been 3-9 their last 12 games. I'm not really going to jump on them after that one good performance last night. So.
All right, we'll see if Greinke can squeeze out another contract in 2023. He's got to show it to the teams here at the end. Royals plus 175 here against the Twins. This one to have a start time 7:40 Eastern time. All right, Sean. Let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium for tonight. We've got 9 games still to go in Major League Baseball, showing great results here in college football. College football begins this week on Friday with a doubleheader. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, so 3 more baseball plays on the go tonight. I've got those 3 in a 3-pack. 110 star play in the mix there, my division game of the week. So look forward to that. College football's off to an 11-6-1 start, 6-2-1 last Saturday. Of course, we had a winning season last year, so looking to build off of that. And happy with the results so far. Not sure if I'll get involved in those 2 games on Friday, actually. It's kind of a tricky couple of games Friday night, but I've already got 6 plays up there for Saturday, and I plan to add 2 or 3 more. So it's another busy weekend. NFL should be kind of went light last week in the NFL, just 3 plays last Sunday. We'll look to kind of ramp up here this week. Likely looking at least 5 plays on Sunday for NFL. So yeah, great time to get on board.
All right, guys, again, I'm with Sean Murphy over at Pick Dogs. From you see the results here in college football, 440 units of profit here at the start of the season. Get on board tonight. He has a 3-game MLB pack up there for you right now. Credit guarantee must turn a profit, or the amount that you purchase is credited back into your account. That's what credit guarantee means. A lot of college football up there right now. Individual plays, early 3-game Saturday college football up there right now. So an early 3-pack for you guys right now. Lots of action right there in college football right now from Sean. Now, instead of buying these plays individually, why not just get signed up to a 7-day all sports pass? Get all of Sean's plays here for the week and include all his college football, his NFL. Remember, in the 7-day pass, your college football will be covered for Saturday's action. If you find something on Friday as well, NFL here for Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. So 3 days of NFL coverage there for you with the 7-day pass. Of course, all this baseball here, the stretch run, 3 weeks left in the remainder of the season. 3 weeks from today will be the last day of the regular season in MLB. So a good time to get on board here with Sean with that 7-day pass. Now, if you want to extend it to 30 days, you can. And what will be added there will be the first few days of the NHL, because the NHL will be in action here early in October. The training camp should be getting really close. We should see some of these rookies on the ice pretty soon. Some of these inter-squad games coming up here pretty soon, and these exhibition games that are fun to watch from all these weird cities that they don't play. You don't see, go ahead.
Yeah, and I should mention NHL preseason. Actually, last year I had a few plays in that as well. If you can get the early roster info for those games, the books do put lines out. Not very high limits on them, mind you, but we picked some spots there last year where it was just kind of cherry picking easy winners there in the preseason. So maybe a few of those as well.
Yeah, keep an eye on some of those split squad games, kind of like sometimes you see those there in hockey as well. Again, on board with Sean Murphy, guys. You see the 1 week pass where you can save 15% when you use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. You can access Sean's page by clicking the link in the description. Then over in the All Cappers tab, you'll find him and get signed up. All right, Sean, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll talk with you again next week.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good day.
You too as well. Sean Murphy here on the Drive Thru. Guys, we're seeing a lot of people sign in. If you miss any of the picks, we will do a complete recap at the end of the show. Let's continue on here on the Drive Thru. It is time now to bring in Arad Azowaki. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's been good to us here on the show with his show picks. So let's go ahead and get in Arad Azowaki right now. Check him out also mornings on the weekends. Boy, I see 9, sometimes 10 cappers on that weekend show here for football. You guys must tune into that one on the weekends at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Enjoying a nice sunny day out. Other than that, we got a nice winner here on Monday in the drive. I had an appointment yesterday, so about that.
Yes.
We'll get another winner today.
We held that under. They held that. We got 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
We held it. Good defense.
Or the Broncos giving up the ball.
Yeah.
They were about to run it in. How many times? 3 times on
3
the
times.
line?
My goodness. You know what? There's
They're
no
like
when you
0-3 in the red zone. Inside the 5. Too.
When you don't play in the preseason, and finally you get someone hit you. You know that's when you go for the fumbles. That's when you see the fumbles, right? Is these guys haven't been hit with the football.
Yeah, we know Seattle. That's what they do. Their defense loves to punch the ball out.
Yep, they sure do. Here we go tonight, 7 Eastern time. Hey, don't tell the Orioles are out of this one. Don't tell them that, because we've seen a lot of teams choke down the stretch. So they've got some soft opponents here. Orioles on the road here facing the Nationals. Orioles minus 145, total 8.5.
Yeah, you look at this game. You got Tyler Wells going to get the start here for the Orioles. It's his second start back from the IR. So his first time back, he pitched 2 innings. So I think he'll go a little farther this time. But even if if he gets roughed up, he'll be on a short lead. So I'll be ready to go behind him if he does get pulled early. But I think we're going to have a little bit of a pitcher's duel. Surprisingly, you look at some of these numbers and you think that Patrick Corbin's pitching. Oh no, we're going to get an over, right? Yeah, I'm going to take an under here. Patrick Corbin at home, he pitches his better stuff at home. And his last 3 starts, he's 2-1 with a 3.2 ERA and a 1.07 WHIP. So he's been holding his own. So for me, I like the under here. You look at the Orioles; they're 4-1 to the under in their last 5 starts. The Orioles are 5-0 under their last 6 interleague games. These Orioles are 18-5-3 to that under, and you look 9-0 to that under their last 9 road games when the total's been set between 7 and 8.5. And you look at the Nationals 4-0 to that under their last 4 versus a right-handed starter. The under's also 9-3 for the Nats the last 12 versus a right-handed starter. Also 5-1 the last 6 versus the AL East to that under. I'm going to take the under 8.5. I don't think we get to get us up 8.5. Give me the under 8.5 and one that the public's.
All right, we got Rod here on the under 8.5 here with the Orioles and the Nationals. Of course, the Nationals have performed a little better. They've been some giant killers of late here, beating the Mets. They've had some pretty good performances here. Wells for Baltimore, limits the walks. Corbin is somebody, he said you run away from him to start the season, but he has shown a little bit of improvement here of late.
Yeah, lately, like I said, 2-1, 3.2 ERA. He pitches even better at home here. So I like this under 8.5. I think even if Tyler Wells only goes a couple innings and we get Ossabaugh coming in right after that, we've seen what Boss has done in Tyler Wells' absence, and he's been playing well. So I got faith. I like the last time these 2 teams met like this. I think it was 7-0 was the final. I guess it's an under, so I'll take the under.
Orioles and Nationals under total of 8.5. This one to start here at 7 Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium. We got some games starting still in a few minutes, so there's still 9 games here. Actually, let's make it 8 now. We do have a game beginning here. 8 games here remaining here for Major League Baseball. Showing good profit over the last 7 days. 423 units of profit, all documented. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And for me, a nice day yesterday, nice winning day. Bounced back from our debacle on Monday. We won 1-3 on Monday. Let's keep it rolling here. MLB blank check. My top rated play on the board. You can get it by itself. over Doug's Premium. Being scoop it up in my Wacky Wednesday triple, where you get my all 3 plays that I have going in the pick. Or, like I said, we've been making money the last month, and we're off to a nice start in the NFL. Nice 6-3 start in week 1. College football, we're up there as well. So now's that time. Jump on something long term. Grab a 3-day, grab a 7-day, grab a 30-day, or grab one of those season packages and jump aboard and make you some money. Or can't miss out on the cap. Pair me up with any one of the other hot handicappers this week. If you look, 18 out of our 27 handicappers last week all profited. So we've all been making money for clients over at Pick Dogs Premium. So jump on over there, scoop something up. Make sure you use the code WIN15. Save 50% all your purchases over at Pick Dogs Premium. Jump aboard. Let's make some money.
Get on board with Ron Swackie over at Pick Dogs Premium, showing good results over the last 7 days. Actually showing better results. We're getting some grading coming in here with these day games. 502 units of profit last 30 days right now for Rod, showing great results. Also, great profit this season in the NFL and college football. Off to great starts, approaching 300 units in each sport for the season. So good time to get on board with a long-term pass from Rod. He does have a 3-pack tonight from Major League Baseball. He calls it his Wacky Wednesday triple. Of course, you can pick that up, and it is credit guarantee. Remember, these one-offs, these one-day passes, credit guarantee must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credited back into your account. That's what credit guarantee means. You get store site credits back into the account. The long-term passes aren't, because they're sold at a discount. Good time to get on board with Rod's action here. That 1 month passes we've been talking about, because Rod is definitely into the NHL. And the reason I bring that up, because you get about 5 days of coverage, if not more. Actually, have almost a week of NHL, as the NHL begins here in about 3 weeks from now. So a good time to get on board with Rod Swackie with that 1 month all sports pass. You get all Rod's plays here from Major League Baseball in that month. Of course, we've got 3 weeks remaining of the regular season. Of course, that'll get you the first week of the playoffs. Of course, that weekend, the wild card weekend, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where the teams, the home team has those 3 games, and then we get into the following week where we have the second round of the playoffs. So you get some second round coverage there with that 1 month all sports pass, as well as Rod's football, as well as his college and NFL for 30 days, and of course the first week of NHL, because NHL is in action here as they drop the puck. I think October 7th, October 8th, somewhere around that period there. As we got the
somewhere around that time.
Yeah, we got Nashville. Nashville taking on, what a great opening night here. Nashville and San Jose on October 7th. Early start time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Must be out of the country.
I think so. I think it's in the UK. Mistaken. I don't quote me on that. It's over in the UK or Ireland. I'm not 100%, but I'd have to look that up and let you know. But I'm quite sure that I did see it with that kind of start time. I think it might be over in the UK.
It's about 7 p.m. UK. Yeah, or out there in the UK, guys. So it could be a European start there. So get on board, guys, with Rod. That 1 month all sports pass. Use the win code WIN15 at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Of course, you can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening, and we will talk with you again on Friday. That's right, Friday.
Thanks for having me. We appreciate everybody. Hit that thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up. It doesn't smash you back either, and it costs you nothing. Helps us out a ton. Greatly appreciated. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let's get ourselves another winner, and we'll see everybody on Friday.
See you guys Friday. Rod Swackie here on The Drive. So let's continue our coverage. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we will do a complete recap at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on The Drive through. Now we got big game coverage here. Who's got it for us here? It's Dana Lane, the Yankees and Red Sox. I'm bringing Dana right now. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Tony? How was the week?
Week's going great. Doing great. All right, here we go. 7 Eastern time, top of the hour. Red Sox hosting the Yankees. With the Yankees here at minus 130, total of 9.
Yeah, interesting number that came out on this, and it's such a intriguing series because we know that this series usually produces a one-run result. I think in 8 of the 14 times they've met this year, there's been a one-run. It's been a one-run game, usually a little bit higher scoring, but I think we might go the opposite on that tonight. And it's funny where these two teams took a turn. I mean, last time that we go back to July when they played before the All-Star break, and that was when Boston was still in the thick of the race. And, you know, the Yankees won the first 2 games and then lost the last 2 games of the series. But from that point on, I mean, both teams really have taken a dive. So we'll see if the Yankees can get healthy on the Red Sox. And we have Bello pitching tonight. And a lot of people think hey, here's a guy that's a young kid, 20-something years old, has made very few starts. What's he going to do against this Yankee lineup? And I always tend to go with the under in these situations because I think pitchers have way more information early on, and throw out his records, because if you watch the way he actually has pitched in the last couple games, he's pitched pretty well. In fact, if it wasn't for a bad sixth inning against the Minnesota Twins, I mean, he would have been in line for a W against the Twins, and certainly got a quality start. But I do think that he's getting stronger. And then on the other side of things, Nestor Cortez was a guy that you could rely on for most of the year to keep these games low scoring. Had a little bit of a stint on the 15-day DL, had one game back after coming off, and wasn't great against Minnesota. I mean, he was okay. But these sort of things, historically, you can see where a pitcher, when they comes off a DL, especially somebody of Cortez's stature, they're really better in their second outing. So, yeah, a little bit earlier on, I was going all in with the Yankees, and I've kind of changed during the course of the day. I'm going to go under the total in this one. I think both pitchers are going to pitch well tonight, and I think both pitchers will get quality starts.
All right, so we got to change. You got to change here. So Dana was leaning Yankees here at -130, but you're just here. You're now going to change it on us.
No, I forgot. I completely forgot, Tony, that you put graphics up on these things, and maybe that's why you need to know who we're picking. I just want to, and I still, if I had to go on a side, it certainly would be with New York. I mean, they're the better of the teams, and I think at this point you want to make sure that you're, especially for New York, has been spinning their wheels. I mean, there was talk about them, maybe still talk about them, about losing the lead in the division. I mean, Tampa Bay was right on their heels for a second. That may still hold true, but they need to start getting into that postseason mindset. And they've played extremely well against their own division, where the Red Sox just have not. So, yeah, I like the Yankees on the side, but I really like this under as well. And I see that the more I read up on it during the course of the day, the more I want to throw that out there because, obviously we want to give out winners.
That's right. So Dana here on the Yankees, Red Sox here, under total here of 9 runs. Of course, Bailey had some trouble there against the Blue Jays, right? When he came up early, he got pounded by that Toronto club. I was with you there on the Yankees because I'm just looking at how the Red Sox have performed here against good teams. Really down the stretch, since the All-Star break, just 3-17 against some of these top-notch teams with a 540 win percentage or greater. And of course, we know Boston is really struggling in the division, losing with 2/3 of their games.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And that's why, sometimes if one side doesn't stick out more than the other, and we know where Boston, the nosedive that they've taken, but as far as New York is concerned, I'm not going to the window with a lot of confidence with them either. I mean, I know that they've played better of late, but I still have that long streak of losing a double-digit lead in the American League East and got it done, I think, 4 or 5 games at one point. I mean, it was getting to the point where they were going to they still might lose that division lead. So they certainly have not been playing well after the All-Star break. So when you have two teams that I don't feel like I can rely on, especially with this number. This number is, if you've been doing this a long time, minus $1.25, $1.20, $1.30. I was surprised about that. I thought New York would come out in the $1.40, $1.50 range.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm missing something. The same way in the Dodger game tonight, Tony. I look at that number and I kind of just scratch my head because the Diamondbacks have absolutely been owned by the Dodgers, but yet LA, and I realize they're on the road, just a slight favorite against Arizona, and so. That's
the angle where hey, you won the division, everyone's drinking champagne, they're partying, and of course you see a 150 open and now buying minus 115 on the Dodgers.
Yeah, and it's no guarantee. I know back in the day we used to say, well, they're not going to get swept, and you'd want to get that plus money, but the Dodgers historically, not just this season, but going back last year as well, Tony, they've absolutely crushed Arizona. Even if they do end up losing tonight, there's no way that I'm going to go and jump on Arizona against the Dodgers because historically they've just proven that they're just not a better club. And I equate this Yankees-Red Sox game to that kind of number. I get that kind of feeling. So as the day went on, I said, I'm gonna jump off of that and get on the total because I'm a little bit more comfortable with both of these pitchers going deep into the game.
All right, Dana here, Yankees Red Sox under 9. This one to start, top of the hour. All right, Dana, let's let everybody know what you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium. Still 8 games on the board here from Major League Baseball, heading into a football weekend. WNBA tomorrow as well. Will the Aces clinch?
Yeah.
We'll see. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, well, we're all very excited about the WNBA. We hope that the Aces will win their first WNBA title tomorrow, a 2-0 lead in that series against Connecticut. So we're excited for the Aces. And, of course, trying to finish Major League Baseball off, it is a tough road. If you look at the standings, I think there's 3 guys or 4 guys of all the handicappers that are over 500. This is a tough sport to bet over a long period of time, and I really want to get into that 500, 600, 700 unit range. It's kind of my goal every year to at least do that at the minimum. So a lot of baseball to go, so we're focused on that. And this week, promise. I have a handle on this now. And I told you before, I get a little bit, I want to wait a little bit on college and pro football, but now we have a little bit of a handle on it. I watched a lot of NFL, of course, Sunday, and then over the last couple of days, replays. So have a handle on football. We're definitely having football up this weekend, and now we're going to go head first into the season.
That's right, guys. Got with Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs from showing good results here from the MLB for this season. He does have a winner up there tonight from the Dodgers. D-backs is get out the game winner up there for you right now. Credit guarantee on these individual plays. They are must win or the amount is credited back into your account. Of course, your best value is a long-term pass. Dana does have a 1-month all-sports pass up there. Get all of Dana Lane's premium plays here from Major League Baseball. That'll get you the remainder of the regular season, which ends 3 weeks from today. That'll get you into the wild card round. First part of the second round series of baseball playoffs there with that 1-month all sports pass. The start of hockey looks like it's starting here October 7th, so you'll get at least a week of plays from Dana Lane as we start the NHL. You see the smile on his face as NHL is about to come. Not too far away from the NHL. Training camps hit now. We see the rookie games coming in here, so we'll get forward to for NHL as well. So that, of course, all the football from Dana for 1 month, so get on board with Dana Lane. Use the promo code WIN15 at checkout, and you'll save 15%. All right, Dana, as always, great having you show. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk with you again next week.
I appreciate it, Tony. All the best, and all the best to everybody out there. And I absolutely cannot wait for camps to open in the National Hockey League in 1 week.
That's right, 1 week away. All right, Dana Lane here on the drive. So let's continue on with our coverage, guys. If you missed any of our picks, Mitch and I will do the recap in a little bit. Before bringing Mitch, let's get my pick out of the way here. I'm going to go under here with the Brewers and Cardinals. Listen, just pretty much like Chris talked about earlier. We said we'd had double coverage on this game. Again, Corbin Burns has dominated the Cardinals, and Wainwright at home. You know how that's going to roll. And I'm not really confident with the Brewers lineup, so I'm going to go under 7 here. Brewers and the Cardinals. Let's go ahead. Let's bring in Mitch right now. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Obviously, the part of the morning crew every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So let's get in Mitch right now. Mitch, what's happening?
Nothing much. Did the NFL show today with Big Al and Jay as well. So we have the college football show tomorrow. Myself with Chris Ruffalo and with Ron Romanelli for the college football afternoon show.
Got it. Afternoon, guys. Make sure there's a lot of shows, live shows coming here, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications. So when Mitch is live at halftime with the morning shows, I don't know if we're going to ask Mitch anything. A little busy to do that right now, but once in a while you'll have those impromptu shows that come up once in a while. You want to make sure you set those notifications and be live with Mitch and crew when he's live on the show. So, all right, Mitch, a game tonight here we're looking at between the Rangers and the Athletics. Boy, they played a wild one last night. It was a light card at nights, and I was watching some of that. That end game was something. Rangers here minus 155, total 8.5.
Yeah, this is a tough one, and the reason I did this game is because, well, it was the last one left on the board. Everyone else got pick of the litter, so I got stuck on this game. And the Rangers, excuse me, favored in this one, but not really a spot where I absolutely love them in this thing. It's just one of those games where it's like, well, it's just an opinion. The Rangers have been terrible in the run line following a win, so you can't even go there to hope to get some value. You got to go right here at minus 155 and hope that that's going to be value enough for you because, like I said, on the run line following a win, they've lost 6 in a row. The A's have been absolutely terrible this season. I think they're just, before they were just bad at home. Now they're just bad everywhere. And I think, they don't have the depth. And when you get into that 150th game of the season territory, well, that's when you just don't have anything left in the tank, at least your quality players. And that's where the A's are at this. The A's gave up the season before it even started. They traded away their players as soon as the lockout ended. Remember the lockout, man? It seems like 100 years ago at this point. But there was a lockout this year. And the A's traded everybody, as soon as that lockout ended. Chris Bassett and Manaea and guys that you see on other teams. But, so some holdovers here. But Dane Dunning, not a bad pitcher here for the Rangers. This is the best he's looked later in the season in his career as he starts to get a little older and get some of that experience. Those guys most usually struggle late in the season because they're just not used to it. They've never done it before. But Dunning, at this point has. I just think, the Rangers bats get it done here and, it should be a pretty ugly game.
Yeah, pretty ugly game indeed. Here we got Mitch here, the Rangers minus 155 against Oakland. And one thing with Dunning, he's been very consistent. Good at home, horrific on the road. I mean, just horrific on the road. If you looked at his road splits, came in the league in 2020, home ERA 2.20, road 4.30. Last year at home 3.09, on the road 6.39. So this year at home 3.35, on the road 5.62, and the whips have been high on the road for Dunning.
In all fairness, he's been around
13, 1 and 13 on the road, by the way.
In all fairness, he's a guy that's kind of been around. He hasn't had a lot of consistency in his short career so far. He was drafted in the first round by the Nationals. Then he was traded to the White Sox in the Adam Eaton trade, along with Lucas Giolito and others, to the White Sox for Adam Eaton. And then traded to the Rangers for Lance Lynn in that trade. So he's been around the block, even though he's just been in the league a few years. So sometimes these guys need some consistency with the pitching coaches and things like that. But I think Dunning, first round talent, 15th pick overall. So he's not he's certainly a guy that has all kinds of potential. And the Rangers, a team that really need to build a pitching staff if they want to contend. The Rangers are a team that 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, we're right in the thick of things, like right before the trade deadline. They needed to make a move about a month before the trade deadline if they wanted to be competitive, and they didn't do it. And it's like, if Dane Dunning's your 3 or 4 starter, you're in good shape. But if he's if he's on top of the rotation, him and Martin Perez, and then you've got nothing else, well, you're probably in some deep trouble. They hope that John Gray would really contribute. He's been injured a lot of the year, but when we have seen him, he's pitched well. So I think the Rangers have hope, but
Otto is one of the starters. We've seen Otto, and it's tough to waste a good year from Martin Perez because you don't get that. You haven't seen that, especially if you haven't seen that from him.
It was nice to see this season. I think he'll get a few Cy Young votes, something that you would never think that he would get. I don't think he's going to win. I think he's but he'll get some 4th and 5th place votes, maybe even 3rd place votes here and there, scattered.
All right, we got Mitch here on the Rangers minus 155 here against the Oakland Athletics, and this one will start here at 7:40. If we got a start time here, let me pull up the numbers here right now. 7:40, 8 o'clock Eastern time is this one. 8 o'clock Eastern time with that game. So let's continue on here with Mitch. We're gonna get to the recap here, and I'll get Mitch in the screen here in just a second, and then we'll get more from Mitch here in a second. I just wanted to get the recap up here so we can get here at the top of the hour here. So I want to make sure we get the recap in, but I want Mitch in the screen to help me out with the segment, so we got him ready to roll here. So here we go with the recap. We had Chris here with the Cardinals Brewers Nerfy, no runs first inning, minus 165. We got Al Ninos, Blue Jays, minus 115 against the Rays. Al McMorty on the Mets, minus 200 against the Cubs. Sean Royals, plus 175 against the Twins. Rod on the Orioles, Nationals, under 8.5. Dana liked the Yankees, but they said, I like the Yankees Red Sox under 9 better, so that's what we went with. And then we had Mitch here with the Rangers, minus 155 against the Athletics. Then I was on the Brewers Cards, under 7. We'll start with Mitch. Other than your pick, Mitch, which one do you like the best?
I'll take maybe the Yankees Red Sox under 9.
Under 9 there, Yankees and Red Sox. It's a little juicy. I'll go with the Nerfy here with the Cardinals Brewers. I know it's up to 165, but man, the way Burns has dominated the Cardinals with 1 run allowed in 27 innings. And you got Wainwright at home, and not the greatest hitting lineup there from the Brewers. I'll look at that route. Okay, let's bring it back, Mitch. And Mitch, why don't you let us know what's happening over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place? I know you're announcing about the details to follow with the contest, right?
Yeah, we're going to do the Become a Capper contest this year. I was on the fence on it, I'll be honest with you guys. I was disappointed in last year's contest and felt that we had dropped the ball while you guys had come through bigger and better than ever before, doing the videos and all those different things. And, And then I kind of like, we had hired 3 cappers from the Become a Capper contest. We ended up with just 1, lasting out of the whole bunch of them. And then, so I was kind of like, why even bother going through this? And then, all of a sudden Jay Briggs rolls around. We bring him, who we found during the contest. We bring him on board, and I'm like, you know what? It's just a matter of finding the right people in the contest. So I think, if you want to be in the Become a Capper contest, you could thank Jay Briggs, because we would not have been doing it if he wouldn't have come on like he has.
How important will we see the video element in this contest? Because I thought that was wow. The videos were amazing last year on the Twitter.
Yeah, I think we will see video again in this year's contest. I'm just not sure it will be in the same format that we saw last year. Last year we did the contest on Instagram and on Twitter. This year it'll be definitely just on one platform.
I got you. And of course, and you'll crown a winner, right? In the one platform. And I know you actually made some considerations for people who performed well, but did great work with the social media, right?
Yeah, like Jay Briggs, and Mills. Both those guys, the guys who are still with us, actually neither of those guys won. Both those guys just did a really nice job in their videos and the social media promotion. Also, there's a culture, and Tony knows this, and Tony and I have been doing shows together for a very long time. Tony knows it's like working with me isn't for everybody. You're not going to get the cookie cutter human resources experience working with us, but you're also going to get freedom to be you and to basically do what you want to do within our company, which makes it that you could promote yourself and to be yourself in front of far more people than more than likely you would be able to do yourself, at least over the near term. So, we give you that. And then at the other side, we have an expectation of what we want, from people in our company. We want people that have the personality and have the experience and have, kind of the ability to stick with it. And, we had 2 people that, this year that were unable to stick with it. And that's where, that's where there's a problem.
And something that has changed over time is the importance of self-promotion and being able to come on shows like this, going on with the video contributions, with your ability to really sell yourself, really important now in this becoming more crowded industry.
I agree with you, but I think that there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And I think the right way to do it is to come on, to give picks, and to give it 110%, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I think the wrong way to do it is every time you have a winner to say, congratulations, everyone that followed me, I won. I hope you won because you followed me. It's like, it's just stupid. It's like, congratulations. I've never been to a casino or a sports book where anyone ever said to me congratulations, including the person cashing out some pretty large tickets for me, right? They might smile, they might have a comment, nice hit or something like that. They never say congratulations or anything like that. It's kind of, it's just stupid. So what do you say when you lose, I don't even understand it. But it's like there's just a certain culture.
Yeah, and to me, it's the signs of a successful handicapper is how you respond after a bad day, after the losses, right?
Yeah, it's like, all of our handicappers that we have been there and done that. They've had good days, they've had bad days, and it's like, every day is a new day, and you need to treat it that way. We're not like, some of these other sites where they're just, patting each other on the back all day, acting like they're in some kind of fraternity and everything, when we all know they're just a bunch of lying scumbags. We have like a really good crew of people and good people. And you know what? I say things that are super unpopular, right? I know that. And I use a lousy tone sometimes, and I know that, and I own that, and I accept that. Does it make it right? Probably not. But I think on the underlying thing is that every handicapper on our site, whether you're exclusive to our site or whether you're on other sites like Tony, they know. It's like you have that one call at 2 a.m. in the morning, probably a pretty good bet to be the person to call and have all of their backs. And I think they all know that. Whether I'm mad at them, whether they've been, kicked off a show or not on a show or whatever, they know they still got me, They all understand that. And I think that, it's just a different culture. You know, I might not be the type of person that's going to say, "Oh, congratulations, you went 3-0 yesterday." Oh, you know, because I might not even know, you know, but they know on the important days, you know, I got them. You know, in life, that you're part of our team, and our team doesn't mean that, you know, you play golf together or go drinking in a sports book together. Ours is that you really got each other's back down to the core. And I think Tony feels the same way about our crew, even though has his own crew as well. And I think he feels, you know, that same connection with them here doing the show.
Absolutely, no doubt. It's been great great culture here at Pick Dogs. You could tell because these guys come on camera. They're well prepared. They enjoy what they're doing. It's done in a very professional manner, and you know, it's just great to see, Mitch, all the contributions we're getting here from the handicappers here at Pick Dogs and all the shows. You look at the weekend shows. At some point, they're going to need. They're going to probably have to have some sort of time window because that screen's filling up.
Yeah, I guess someone's hit me in the comments, but I don't really give a crap. I'm not afraid of any of you people. Everyone always talks about, oh, you're a big hero, whatever, through this. No, I would say the same thing to your face. I got no problem with it. To be honest with you, it's like most of you guys just hide behind a YouTube comment, but we know we have our community, and it's like if you don't want to be part of it, we're okay with it. You know, we've got millions of people that do want to be part of it and that we appreciate and who know I have their back. And people are like, oh, you know, the way, whatever.
We got all the games in. We got the recap. This is a little extra time right now between Mitch and I just talking. So the games are already covered, guys. We already did. So someone was asking about that. So what else, Mitch, happened over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place? I know the betting tools feature really great for everyone. It helps them out here, of course, with baseball and, of course, with football here up and running.
Yeah, I guess there was a retracted. I don't know what's going on in the comments, but anyways, I missed you, Tony. What did you say on that?
Oh,
one?
No. I was just saying, what else you got going on over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Places? We're headed into.
We got our NFL live show that we did today. We have college football. We cover all the games, so nice and early in the week. Then, you know, what we do is the cappers have between the live shows that we do for those and the actual games, we have 4 to 5 other live shows where the cappers can update or change their picks, you know, if need be. Lines move, things move, situations move, players, you know, starters, all that stuff all moves. So we have time to do that with our other live shows. So just because we gave the pick somewhere, you know, you can tell usually, and people tell me all the time, they used to say it all the time, when you get excited about a pick, I know you really like it. You know, and it's like there's sometimes when I'm not as excited, and then other times where I become more excited. And I'm pretty excited about this weekend's college football card. The NFL card, I think, is a little difficult. At least it looks difficult on the surface to me. So definitely going to, you know, we did the NFL show today, and I still find a lot of the games tough. I'm probably going to have a shorter card this week for NFL, but for college football, I love this card. I love it. It's you know, I gave out App State and Georgia Southern on the money line on our live show on Saturday, and I have at least 3 more of those this week. I gave out those 2. I also gave out Vandy on the money line, who got waxed. So
how long is Durrell going to hold in Colorado? I mean, that's just getting worse and worse. They're getting 27.5 at Minnesota.
He stinks. I watched that Air Force game in the book with a Colorado fan, and we were, you know, I was like, if I know what play they're going to run, these guys certainly know what play they're going to run. You know, it's, you know, you only throw the ball to one receiver, and you know, you only have one running play. It's pretty tough at the varsity level.
In turn, game is that BYU Oregon game. We're seeing that, and you know, Oregon looked really bad in that Georgia game. Of course, we saw BYU get past the Baylor in that really game that should have been a 7:30 Eastern game, but was played late. BYU getting 4 in that one.
Yeah, there's a word there that I promised everybody I wouldn't say, but it rhymes with Mo-Jix.
Okay, there you go. That's all you need to know there. And then
It's just not my game. But I see some other games here where it's like, I thought that App State and Texas A&M last week, the reason I gave was that it was a look-ahead spot, and I didn't think Texas A&M looked so good against Sam Houston State. I actually picked Sam Houston State in that game plus the points on the show the week before. I think Texas A&M and USC were the two most overrated teams going into last week, and now it's just USC that's overrated going into this week. So I still think there's defensive problems there. I think we saw them against Stanford, and I think Stanford was maybe a bounce here and a half a quarterback away from at least getting a backdoor cover in that game.
Yeah, USC the second half. So one thing I will say about USC is their conditioning looks a little better. They look a little faster on the field. We'll see how long that lasts as the season rolls. But definitely the conditioning difference by far there with USC. Interesting line move here with Oklahoma and Nebraska. We know the coaching fired. We saw that game now go from 14 to Oklahoma 10.5 on the road in some of the sharper books offshore.
Yeah, I think I still like Oklahoma in this game. I just don't see how Nebraska. I don't think they have the talent on the team to do it. And I think I don't think it was just Scott Frost. And we've seen Scott Frost be successful before. I think it was getting the talent to come to Nebraska. Despite being in the Big Ten conference, I think for Nebraska, moving to the Big Ten has clearly worked against them.
Yeah, no doubt.
It seems that they're now it seems that now they're recruiting against Michigan and Ohio State when before they were recruiting against Texas and Oklahoma and trying to keep guys in that general area. But now when you're recruiting against Michigan, Ohio State, and Wisconsin, Penn State just gets uglier from there. It's just a tougher market, I think.
I think Kansas and Houston is an intriguing game. We're seeing some improvement from Kansas because we know the head coaching change was a positive one for Kansas. We're starting to see some of it now. But Houston, a back-to-back tough opponents, back-to-back road games. Now they get the first home game. Of course, Kansas will be back into a back-to-back road games after their win at West Virginia.
Well, you have to be somewhat concerned in this one with Houston because, like you said, they played back-to-back games, so they certainly have been up against tough competition already. But at the same time, they've been in two really close games. It's like, now all of a sudden you're looking at a double-digit point spread for a team that's gone to overtime twice in 2 weeks.
Now, we've seen a line move. It's now down to 8.5 now.
Yeah, I believe it. Because we haven't seen them do it. And Kansas in the second half against West Virginia blew them out. They won that second half, and the game went to overtime, so you can't call this final score a blowout. But in the second half, Kansas was losing. They came back to take a pretty good lead there in that one.
Kansas coach, he was from those good schools and those good Buffalo teams, right? If I recall correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, because he was highly touted, and we're starting to see it here with the going back to that A&M game. Remember that horrible start they had last year against Colorado? They really squeaked past the Buffs there in their week 1 last year, and of course off to a tough start this year. Another one I caught my attention, Mitch, looking at this Georgia and South Carolina game. Rattler kind of makes it interesting here, getting a 24.5, 25, but again that's tough against that Georgia defense.
These two teams hate each other's guts, and if you can't get excited about this game, then you just really don't understand college football. You from a fan standpoint, at the very least, this is not like a late to the game of college football type game. This is not like two teams that that you just say, oh well, Georgia's so much better, they're going to kill South Carolina. It's a good way to lose a lot of money in this series.
Penn State and Auburn. Boy, Penn State here with Clifford.
And South Carolina beat Georgia. And they beat Georgia that was ranked number 1 a couple of years ago, and they beat them at Georgia. Pretty sure.
Might have been.
They were like, it was like and not a good South Carolina team. I think their coach was fired that year.
Yeah, that will go back. Yeah, on the following there. Penn State at Auburn. The Penn State favorite here on the road. 3.
Penn State beat Auburn, I believe it was last year. It might have been 2 years ago when they played at Happy Valley. And I think this year's Penn State team is actually one of the better Penn State teams that we've seen under Franklin in quite some time. Penn State normally has gotten off to really slow starts in recent years, but this year starting the season 2-0 and a real pounding of Ohio, just the manhandling of them. And the way that they were able to come back in that final drive against Purdue and drive the ball down the field. Yeah, there's been some hokey calls on these Friday night games, that's for sure. But, you got to give it to Penn State. When push did come to shove, they drove it right down the field and scored a touchdown on them.
Yeah, they did that. That's really what got my attention. There was that one. Some of the early games. I thought UNLV. I think they got. I don't know. Is a wrong team favorite here with North Texas getting 2.5.
Well, that's what they're trying to lead you to believe, and that's why there's a lot of games on the board this week where the line just looks really, really funny. So you have to make decisions. Are they just trying to look for action on these teams, or are we just clearly missing something?
All right, 2019, it was South Carolina in overtime winning that with that field goal, 20-17 against Georgia, and it was Helinski. I thought it was Helinski at quarterback there for the South Carolina team. Helinski is now over at a team that kind of disappointed in Northwestern last week.
Yeah, and they also oh man, what was I saying?
South Carolina.
Rodrigo Blankenship missed the field goal.
That's right. And who just got cut? Who just got cut yesterday?
Oh, did he?
He got cut from the Colts.
Oh, they cut him?
Yesterday.
They cut him. He missed the field goal in that for them too. He's missed a bunch.
Oh, one of your favorites.
Tough job.
One of your favorite team, Indiana. Here, they're laying 6.5 at home against Western Kentucky.
Give me Western Kentucky on the money line in that thing. Tom Allen. I mean, how many bad calls is he going to get? I think the one game, Tony, that I'm really a little bit concerned about, as a fan, and that if you're a fan and you really think you have an angle, is that UTSA Texas game, because it just seems almost too easy. Texas in a letdown spot against an upstart UTSA team in a chip on their shoulder type game, and but the issue here for me, this one's on the Longhorn Network, and everyone knows who gets the calls when the games are on the Longhorn Network.
Yes,
that's where the Dirty Tricks Committee lives. On the Longhorn Network. They invented the Longhorn Network for games like this.
And that's why Nebraska left, right? That's why Nebraska left. They left out of that for that reason. They were starting to see what was the championship game? What was a Big 12 championship game where there was some really questionable calls go Texas way. I remember that.
Yeah. They did not want to play on the Longhorn Network.
A tricky game here is that Fresno State at USC game. Of course, Fresno State with that heartbreaker last week against Oregon State. We remember this several years ago, right? When Pete Carroll, remember that crazy game they had? This was maybe 15 years ago, Fresno State and USC, back on the old Fox.
Yeah, Fresno State is a good team, and last week they lost a heartbreaker. But I think it's also a type of team that can bounce back too, and I think Fresno certainly, they're going to be a bowl team this year. We know that, so they're going to win some games.
Yeah, they're definitely going to win some games here. And, of course, I can't let Mitch go unless we talk Miami at Texas A&M, right? That's the big one here. We're seeing line movement coming down. A&M open 6, now down to 4.5 in one of the sharpest books on the planet.
I love my Canes, but I certainly don't love them in this spot. Texas A&M at College Station. Coming off of a loss, going to be very, very tough to get any kind of calls in this thing. We've seen some hideous officiating this year already, and I expect to see more of it in this one. But the Canes certainly are talented, and I love the way Cristobal is taking over this program. And I think that he is the first guy that we've seen in a very long time in Miami. I would say since Jimmy Johnson, that really, really is in the game. And I think Butch was in the game, but Butch was an assistant coach type guy where he had, his guys around him and kind of did it. But Mario Cristobal is in there with the defensive unit. He's in there with the offensive unit. He is involved, and it's, he is, they're into it. It's taken some of the guys, you have to kind of break them down because they're used to this loose and easy culture and the dancing and the chains and everything else. And it's like, I think that Cristobal would be open to bringing back the dancing and the chains and everything like that. I think he would be open to it, but I think he's comes from the culture, the Miami culture. Yeah, you got to win first, then you get to do all those things, but you have to win first, And
where's the Cozy Perry? I was looking at his numbers, and he was actually
Florida Atlantic,
FAU, right? That's right.
Yeah, what a great game that's going to be. Florida Atlantic versus UCF. That should be a great game in Boca.
That line coming down from opener of 10.
Get yourself some killer deli and then go to the game.
That opened 10. It's now down to 8.5. Where UCF a road favorite in this one. And one before we let you go, Mitch, there was one here that the game that brought my eye, got my attention was this Michigan State at Washington. Boy, we're seeing a big line move here from -1 now to 3.5 favorite here for the Washington Huskies.
Yeah, it's a long road trip here for Michigan State. Michael Penix Jr. taking over at Washington. We'll probably have to take a deeper dig into this thing to figure out, if there's any kind of suspensions or players that are going to be out for this thing, because that's normally it would take that to move this line through 3 to the, especially to the hook, especially with a Michigan State team that, traditionally travels well and, gets a lot of calls themselves.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a revenge here for Utah. Remember, this is the game where Brewer was ousted, and now I think he's out for the season, or he got hurt in his new team this year. But San Diego State here at Utah. Utah 21-point favorite.
How about San Diego State scheduling Arizona at home to open the season, then going to Idaho State, now traveling to Utah, who's coming off of 73-7 frustration ender last week against Southern Utah. They kind of got it all out of their system. But what San Diego State team are we going to see? If we see the one that played Arizona, they're in big trouble here.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
20.5 for a San Diego State game is probably one of the biggest point spreads they've gotten in the last 20 years.
It has been one of the biggest ones because their coach is just so conservative. Even when they're big favorites, you have to sweat through their games because their offense is they don't separate from teams.
That's exactly how it's been. The Mets struggling again here against the Cubs.
Yeah,
and Patrick Corbin kind of being Patrick Corbin here. No damage yet, but he's got bases loaded here with nobody out, and this is where he lives.
Yeah, and this is almost like the situation we talked about Greinke. We're getting toward the end of the season. These pitchers that are on their last legs, they're trying to get a job next season, right?
Yeah, Corbin makes a lot of money, so he's not going to be getting that kind of money regardless of where he lands. But no. I think there's always going to be a place for a guy like Patrick Corbin, and I think that moving these guys, some of these guys that into you move him into the number 5 spot, he's probably not so bad.
Well, even Keuchel, right? Keuchel, he bounced. He's been cut by 3 teams this year.
Yeah, Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, Edwin Jackson. Over. Yep. Ole Miss at Georgia Tech. Ole Miss here 16.5. Jackson Dart under center. We're not seeing the offense as we expect here from this Ole Miss team.
No, we're not seeing the offense we expect from Ole Miss, but last week against Central Arkansas, they lit them up like a Christmas tree. Thankfully, those are the days where you're in Vegas and you're just like, thank God I'm in Vegas for this thing, It's like, it was just awesome, to have that FAU against Southeast Louisiana and had that and Texas State FIU all in the same day. It's like it really doesn't matter how much money you lose on the other games because you got 3 stone cold locks, just ready to go for you.
It's one of the games of the week here. Mississippi State at LSU here. We got the Mississippi State here, the road favorite going to LSU here, 2.5, total 53.5.
They always play early, and with LSU losing that game against Notre Dame or against Florida State, a little bit of stigma. But we know that Brian Kelly, the more time he has to work with this team, the better they're going to get. Mike Leach, his defense is generally not known for lighting it up, but boy, they sure looked impressive last week. They looked real good.
The news here, probably the reason causing this line move here for Michigan State is they could be without their number 1 receiver, Jaden Reed. Unspecified injury here for Reed. He's listed as questionable here for Saturday's game against Washington.
Yeah, that would do it.
1,000-yard receiver. 1,000-yard receiver last year. 10 touchdowns, averaging almost 10 yards per attempt here. So that's a big loss there if he doesn't play. So that's something to keep an eye on that game. All right, Mitch. It's a lot of fun.
The Braves losing in San Francisco. The Mets getting pummeled here in the first inning by the Cubs.
Oh man, here we go again. It could be 3 in a row here as these teams are just dragging Of course, the Dodgers have already clinched. The interesting line move, Mitch, in this one, we saw it down to minus 115, Arizona and LA. LA going with Grove, one of their OKC guys. And, it's interesting because, you just clinched, but the Dodgers come out and say, hey, we haven't clinched anything. We want home field for the NL playoffs. We're 10 games up on the Mets. We want to clinch that.
I believe the Dodgers are playing for home field overall, right?
Yeah.
Overall home field. I mean, they have the best record in baseball, so they have plenty to play for at this point. As home field certainly doesn't gift wrap, that you're going to win series, but if the road team wins one game, there goes your home field. But it's sure nice I'd rather have it than not have it. I think they feel the same way.
It's just I just think it's such a pitching advantage for the Dodgers with their pitchers to put that pitch at home.
Yeah, the Dodgers are going to be tough. This is the best managing job that we've seen from the Dodgers, and as long as I could possibly even remember. This is the best managing job they've ever had. They have a few star players, but they've had a lot of injuries, especially in the pitching staff, and Bauer, never making it to the team, and they when they signed him, they planned that he was going to be there for a long time, and it's tough to replace those guys.
They're getting something out of Heaney. We were all laughing when they signed Heaney. That was the biggest joke. People were just laughing, thought it was funny.
I mean, who thought Gonzalez was going to have the season that he had, and Urias? Look at these seasons that these guys are having, and you look at some of the other players too. You lose Seager, and you still continue to win. You get Freddie Freeman. It's like, and some of the other guys like Justin Turner, he's been horrible this season.
Yeah, and they still
some
haven't
of the
even
other
used
guys
Danny,
too.
And Danny Duffy, he's not even pitched, and they got him in trade two seasons ago. He still hasn't pitched for LA. I don't know what's the story with Danny Duffy. I thought he would have helped them. I thought he would have been one of those guys when they got him from KC 2 years ago. Hey, this guy can help him. Never made it to the field. All these crazy injuries with these guys. But
Patrick Corbin's got one down here in Washington. It looks like they were not able to turn the double play on the ground ball to shortstop. So just one run in for the O's so far.
Yeah, and,
two down.
Like I said earlier, be careful saying teams are out, because what happens here, Mitch, toward the end of the season, and this is why I don't really like the new schedule where you're not going to play as many division teams, because you have more drama when these teams play each other. Now you're going to start playing everybody, and you're going to have less games against teams in your division.
Yeah, the Chicago Cubs are really starting to unload here on the Mets in the first inning. It's 5-0, 1 out, and a runner on second.
Wow.
There is no relief on the way here.
There's no help here.
No, it is a rough day at Citi Field. Luckily for them, the Braves have already lost today.
Yes, and that's the thing there. Maybe they saw that. I hope they don't, but yeah, that's the craziness here too. Of course, Yankees, Boston playing. Of course, Boston's had their struggles. Late action tonight here. Of course, there won't be too much now with the Dodgers, Arizona. Not a whole lot. Of course, Dodgers playing for home field for the playoffs. That's what they have going on. All right,
this is always the odd time of year, that transition between baseball and football. And, people, it's like they don't want to hang on to baseball at this point. And then it's like you get to Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're kind of like, all right, I'll bet a little baseball. Why not?
Yeah, and then we get that lull in October before the NBA where, you got those few games, those few playoff games in October, right? And there's no football Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All there is NHL, right?
Yep.
That's all you got there is NHL. All right, Mitch. I'm glad you.
That game is in Prague, by the way.
Prague is
game's
okay.
in Prague.
Prague, okay.
Yes. That opening game, that 2 p.m. start, is in Prague, not in London.
Not in London. Okay, so it's going to be in Prague. So that's the NHL. It's not too far away, and of course, Mitchie Pucks.
Change your plane tickets if you're.
Mitchie Pucks getting ready for the new season. Mitchie Pucks.
I think I might take a skate around the ice with Ruffalo. We'll have to see. We'll do a couple skate.
A couple skate, pregame skates. All right, Mitch. As always, Mitch, great having you on. Keep up the great work. We'll catch up next.
And the Cubs score again. It's 6-0. Thanks, Tony, for having me. Have a great night, everyone. Win some money.
Win some money. All right, Mitch, you're on the drive. All right, guys, that'll do it. Thanks for just hanging on with us. We did a little bonus coverage of college football. We got the games in. Guys. I know people were saying, you talk with the games. Some of you want to hear the college. We like to do a little college football wrap around with Mitch. We did that. We used to do that back in the day. So thanks for everyone for hanging in with us. The games have started, but in case you want the recap, we'll do it all over again here. We got some games in progress, as we know. A lot of them are, but games that aren't. We got the Royals still on the board here, and we got the Rangers still on the board here. Brewers and Cardinals starting in just minutes here. So we do have a few games that haven't started yet. Remember, Chris is on the Nerfy here with his Cardinals Brewers. That's the one I like the most. I mean, when you talk about Burns, he's given up just one earned run in 27 innings against the Cardinals this year, so that's been predominant there, if you ask me. All right, that'll do it here for today's show, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live, 7 p.m. each time. We'll do it all over again, bringing our cappers in from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place, giving out live free picks for the games in prime time. Don't forget to get started every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with the morning show. It's Chris and Mitch on the mornings, and don't forget the weekend shows. It's a crowded field there. There's 10 cappers I see on that show. You want to tune in the football show Saturday and Sunday. 10 of the cappers, if you see on the drive-thru, those guys are in there giving out free picks on the football shows. You got to tune in there on the weekends as well. The video series, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Ron Romanelli with a complete rundown in Major League Baseball, as now with the NFL. He introduced the NFL now to his repertoire. So guys, get on board there. Check it out. And, of course, don't forget Javon's parlay. He's got his parlay 2-teamer for you every day, as well as the MMA show on Saturdays with Mills and Brad. And, of course, we got the NFL and college football shows here, as we can find the NFL show there. We got Big Al. We got Jay with Mitch. Tune in. College football tomorrow with Chris and Mitch. That'll do it for tonight's show, guys. I'm going to wave goodbye to you guys. You guys have